Hello and welcome to Fix and Drive. Today, I'll be showing you how to change the AC cabin filter on your Alfa Romeo Giulia. It's recommended that you change this about every 15 to 30,000 miles or every 1 to 2 years. This process can be a little bit tricky, but if you follow these steps, you should be able to knock it out no problem. So let's get started. What you'll need for this project is an AC cabin filter. I went with the Mopar brand for the Alfa Romeo Giulia. We'll also need a socket wrench and a T25 Torx bit. We'll also need a flathead screwdriver, a T30 Torx bit, a multi-tool for pliers and to help pry open some of the dash or work on some of the brackets and tabs, and then a dash removal kit. Cabin filter is located behind the glove box, so we're going to need to remove the glove box and the lower part of the dash. There are 3 T25 Torx bolts inside the glove box that we'll need to remove. And there are 3 T25 Torx bolts under the dash closest to the passenger seat. There are 2 more T-Torx bolts that we will need to remove the bottom tray of the dashboard. So first we'll start with removing the 3 T25 Torx bolts. Then we'll remove the 2 bolts that are towards the front of the car, underneath. You want to move the carpet out of the way to get to this last bolt to make it easier to unscrew. Using a dash removal tool, we will pry the trim piece of the dash out of the brackets. Just kind of work your way across until it comes loose. Before we go any further, we'll need to remove this cover on the center console. So you'll be able to just reach under it and gently pull it loose. There are 4 little clips that hold it on, so just make sure we line that up when we reinstall it and set it aside. Now we can pull the rest of the trim piece down and remove the bottom cover. You'll notice these little black brackets may fall when you're trying to pull it loose. These actually hold the ambient lights in place, so you'll want to make sure you keep up with these and don't lose them. There's 2 of them. And just set them aside somewhere safe. Now we just slowly part the trim piece loose. And the bracket's been on this side, so I had to take a little bit more effort to get it out. As you can see, this was caught and bent backwards. So I'll fix it before I reinstall it. And here's one of the ambient lights, and that's where the trim clips on. Now we'll pull out the other ambient light. And then here's the bracket for that, and we'll set it aside so we don't lose it. There are 3 little tabs that hold some wiring to this under tray, and we'll be able to push these 3 tabs out. So just with your thumb, you just kind of gently pull the wiring away from the tray, and the little tab should come loose. And we'll do it in 3 places. Here's the second spot, work it loose, and then the third one. Okay, so now the tray is completely free from the dashboard. There are 2 T30 bolts that we'll need to remove to be able to remove the glove box from the dashboard. We'll go ahead and remove the light inside of the glove box. You just kind of gently pry it open and pull it down. Just start pulling it out gently. And then the clip, you have to press it to release it. So I needed to use a small flathead on my multi-tool to be able to push that tab in enough to remove this. And then we'll set the light aside. And now we'll remove the 3 T25 Torx bolts from the top of the glove box. Working our way around the glove box, we want to gently pull it away from the dashboard, pulling down from the top and then pulling towards the back of the car from the sides. This will release it from the clips that hold it in. You may have to use a dash tool to help pry it open. And then just gently work it out and the clips will come loose. Once you pull it out, you'll see that there's a switch that you'll need to disconnect. Just pinch it and gently slide it loose. Okay, now we can set the glove box to the side. Okay, with the glove box removed, you can see the holes where the clips fit in, and we'll just line this back up whenever we reinstall the glove box. So the AC cabin filter is all the way in the back corner, the footboard. So first we're going to need to remove this air vent in order to get the cabin filter out. At the end of the air vent, you'll see a little locking tab that holds it to the dash. So we'll need to use a pry tool to separate the tab to loosen it, and then we can pull the vent loose. So now just use a tool to pry it open. You pull out the locking part of the tab. It's pretty dark, but in the back corner is the door to the AC cabin filter. There's some wires attached to it on little hooks that will unclip. But in order to get the door loose, we'll need to go underneath, and you'll see this little tab that clips the door onto the dash. So using a flathead screwdriver, we'll be able to pry this tab loose. Now the door is unlocked, so we can pull the door away from the dashboard. But we'll need to move the air vent out of the way. And then pull the wires loose. You see a closer look at the wires. You just unhook them from this door. And once you get it unhooked, there's one at the top we'll need to remove. Once we get the wire unhooked, we can just pull the door out and set it aside. So now you can see the cabin air filter. We'll reach in, just get a pinch on it, and gently pull it out. Okay, so here's the old filter. You can see it's pretty dirty. I picked up a lot of stuff. You also notice on the edges there'll be arrows that point the direction of the airflow. And we'll want to make sure that those arrows are pointing to the back of the car. So here's our new air filter. It's clean, it's a charcoal filter. And you'll see the arrows that point the direction of the airflow. So we want that to point towards the back of the car. Alright, so now we'll take our new air filter. Make sure the arrows are pointed towards the back. And then we'll gently slide it up behind the bar of the dashboard and try to get it fit back into that slot. You want to do this slowly and gently so you don't bend up the air filter and get it binded up inside where it needs to slide in. I would work it in gently, pushing in a little bit at the top of the filter and then a little bit at the bottom of the filter, and just working back and forth with that until I got it all the way in. Okay, once the filter is installed, we'll put the door back on. Top of the door has a little tab you slide up that hooks on, and then the bottom has the tab you clip in. Then we clip the wires back onto those hooks. Next, we'll put the air filter back in. Gotta move the switch to the glove box out of the way. And then we'll slide that tab to hook it back to the dashboard. Before installing the glove box, we'll need to connect the switch first. So we'll take the blue connector for the switch and we'll clip it back in. And then before we slide the glove box all the way in, make sure you grab the connector for the interior light, put it through the hole, and we'll gently slide the glove box back in and line the clips up with the holes in the dashboard. And then we'll make sure we clip them back in. Take a little bit of pushing and a little bit of tapping to knock it back in place. Okay, now we'll take our glove box light and hook it back up to the connector. And then we'll slide it back into the hole. So if the door is open a while, it won't cut back on. You'll need to close the door and open again, and then you'll see the glove box light back up. Now we'll take the two T30 bolts and bolt in the lower part of the glove box. We'll screw in those two corners. Make sure the washers are still in the bolt. It comes with a rubber washer to prevent rattling. Make sure that that's what makes contact with the glove box. And now we'll connect the second bolt. And then we'll tighten them both down. Now we'll take the T25 screw with the washer and screw it back into the glove box. I'll put all three screws in first and then I'll tighten them down. Okay, so now we'll install the underneath cover. First thing I gotta do is fix that clip that got bent. So I'm going to put it back where it connected, and then I'm going to take my pliers and pinch it back down. First thing we'll want to do is connect the ambient lights back to the brackets. So the two lights, we'll clip them back in with the little black brackets. So we'll slide the bracket in underneath to where its clips stick through the other side. You want to hold it in because it fits in there loose. So holding it with your finger, we'll take the ambient light and line it up to where the clips will catch onto it. Then you'll push them together until you hear it click, and then it should hold it in. Then we'll do the same thing for the other light. Push the bracket through, and then click it in. Then we'll push the little tabs that hold the wires back through the holes along the back of the cover. There'll be 3 that we push through. Then we'll slide the cover back in and line it back up. We'll line up the clips with the holes in the dashboard. Then we'll screw in the 5 T25 bolts. We'll start by adding the 3 bolts closest to the passenger seat. And then we'll install the 2 towards the very front of the car. Okay, using a dash trim tool, you want to pull the weather stripping back around in front of the dashboard trim so that it covers it back up. Just slide the pry tool behind the rubber trim and then work its way around to the in front of it. And after the front 2 screw bolts are put on, you can clip your floor mat back on in place. And then last, you can add the cover to the center console, lining up those 4 brackets and clipping them back in. Then you're good to go. Okay, so that's how you change your AC cabin filter. It is a little bit of a pain to get to that and change it out, but it's not super hard, just involves quite a few steps. But afterwards, you'll have nice fresh air blowing through your AC. If this video was helpful, please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for future videos. Thank you, stay safe, and God bless.